Of the countless horrifying stories that are coming out of Ukraine, many of them involve children. The images that you are about to see are disturbing, I will warn you. But it's important for the world to see the faces of these children and to hear their stories. These are pictures taken at the Zaporizhia Regional Children's Hospital. Doctors allowing the British publication The Telegraph to publish them, saying that they hope the images will make a strong impression on the world about the horrors of war, particularly on its youngest victims. Joining me now to explain these photos in greater detail is one of the reporters on this story, investigative journalist Tanya Kozyreva. Tanya, these are tough pictures to look at. These kids in the middle of this, the biggest victims of this. Can you tell us their stories? First, I'd like for you to tell us about Masha. And just to be clear, the headline on the story is Masha is 15, her body is broken, and Russians say she's a fake. Tell us about Masha.
So the whole scene that we witnessed, it was horrible and a nightmare. We entered this room, intensive care room of the regional Zaporizhia hospital, and there was three kids, and all of them, like two of them, was not in conscious, and Masha was the only one who was reacting on what is going on. She could speak, but we decided not to disturb her, and we just saw this grim picture of very young and beautiful Ukrainian girl who is only 15 years old, but who already had her right knee amputated, her right leg, amputated about the knee, and her right hand is also shredded by the shrapnel that got into there, got into her. And Masha, I had to tell you, Masha is from Polohe. This is the small town near Zaporizhia, and it's a town where there is no like, military base and there's no military objects. And she just got this shrapnel into her body while she was walking around her town with her mother. So mother covered her from this shrapnel, but as her grandmother told us this grim story, she told us that her mother covered her daughter, but when she woke up, she saw legs
Yeah.
and like this very grim picture. And when we spoke to grandmother, to Masha's grandmother, she was crying. Valentina, she's like crushed, I think, forever, just because two dearest members of her family um, had this wound forever.
Yes, and I will
And
say in your story, Tanya, we see the grandmother. I mean, the pain on her face. You also introduce your readers to Milena, who is an 11-year-old who is wounded and is attached to a ventilator, as you mentioned, one of the children who is unconscious. I think one of the stunning things about this is Russians don't believe these are real, right, Tanya?
yes, Milena story is even, it's even worse. If it can be even compared, probably not. Milena, her family was on the way from Mariupol, so they survived the siege. They survived this more than 20 days with no food, no electricity, no water. And after all this, they were on the way. They were on the way to Zaporizhia, and then their car was shelled on this big queue of cars that was trying to escape the siege. And this is one of the cases that we saw, and it was one of the cases when the civilians in the cars who were trying to escape, they were, they basically, again, they're damaged forever, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, but the story here is also very impressive, just because the head of this intensive care, the hospital, he told us that that many of his friends, and I think many Ukrainians will share this expression with him, that many of his Russian friends doesn't believe that those pictures is real, that those stories about wounded people and killed kids, there are there are fake stories that Ukrainians are making them up just in order to impress somebody or impress the world. But this is real. This is what is really
Y-
we as a journalist witness, and this is something that doctors, as they told us, never saw ever before. They
They've
never have seen kids
and
in this kind of conditions and heavily wounded.
And Tanya, thank you for sharing this important work with us, because I know some people aren't going to believe it no matter what. But when you're doing this reporting and you're showing these pictures, there are going to be some people who look at it and they wonder, and they're going to ask some more questions. Tanya, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.